thunderous shot, sir. Look at that. Oh, that is fire support of the finest magnitude. Look at that. They've been absolutely eviscerated here. And they are the finest troops they've got. Going right in behind them here. Look at that. We've eviscerated this army. What a wonder. Well done, lads. Well done. Almost. Let's clear this out. Straight into them. Straight into that. Yes, they've had enough there. Look at that. That's a beautiful sight. Gentlemen, square if you would, please. Thank you. Greetings and welcome to episode 194 of my Empire Total War Darth Mod USA campaign. And in this episode, my friends, we are going to look to clear the Germans from our rear lines here. As you can see, we've got a number of German armies, full armies here, and in good rude health here as well. They look at full strength. We've got to remove this threat from our lands here because they're tying down the forces you can see here to have to deal with them when these forces could be elsewhere or even moving against the Germans in the regions they still control. So we've got to do this, my friends. As you can see, they're still at full strength here. If some of them aren't, as you can see, they've got a tattered flag here, but this army is going to be very difficult to dig out. And this one is also just on the outskirts of Königsberg, so we've got to be careful what we're doing here. We have sent in a very powerful force here, because look at the magnitude of fire support. It's exceptional, it really is. Plenty of cavalry as well, but we do need to retrofit this particular regiment here, because we want all our regiments to be at full strength in terms of their abilities. And the cuirassiers really are now the sort of the mainstay of our cavalry regiments within each army, but a lot of armies are still needing retrofitting. But as you can imagine, the sheer scale of the fighting on at least 3 fronts is really starting to push our production, especially our military's production, to the limits. Even though we have a vast empire stretching from the New World, which we ultimately control pretty much all of the New World, and we control the major aspects of Europe as well, we still are struggling to keep up here with the number of enemies and the amount of equipment and men you need, and the expenditure in terms of gold is eye-watering. It really is. It runs into millions and millions of what would be nowadays dollars. Millions of gold pieces have been spent, and where we are at the moment, I couldn't even begin to fathom how much we've spent in terms of money. And the sort of the loss of men as well has been truly breathtaking. It really has. The amount of men we've lost and the enemy have lost has been staggering. But we continue, my friends. We have to clear these rear lines because, as I said, they're tying down other aspects of our military which could be pushed elsewhere. So we do need to do that. Look at that in Sweden there. We've got that army there sort of loitering within tents. We'll bring them forward as well if need be. But you can see here, just off here to this sort of the northeast, you can see another German army there ready to cross the border. But let's deal with what's in front of us here, and it's this army here. It's not at full strength, but the majority of it, I think only this regiment here and this particular cavalry regiment here is not at full strength. The rest are. Let's take the fight. We're going to fight this one though, my friends, even though this is sort of in our favour. I think we would lose probably more than if we sort of didn't do it ourselves here. So let's take this fight here. Let's push them and destroy them. We can replenish this army and then we can send it forth to hopefully remove another German army. But we really are. Honestly, once we finish this battle here, my friends, I'll show you how stretched we are on each front. We even hopefully can move against the Afghans, and they are very well dug in indeed. Oh, look at this. The topography here is extraordinary. When I've got that, we're on this sort of, almost the side of a hill. We are on the side of a hill here, but look at the look at the formations here, the rock formations we're involved in here. This really undulating sort of topography here of this battlefield is extraordinary. Look at this. There's a step within a step here. So you can't deploy anything along these here because these ridges really do cause a lot of problems. As you can see, look, see So you can't deploy along there, and also you've got another set of them here as well, but for some reason not as steep. So these here are shallower. As you can see, when you get closer into them, they're a lot shallower than these here. As you can see, these you can still see even from ground level, so that's why the problem is. So we can deploy along here, but I think with the guns we've got, I think we'll use the crest of the hill here as our main position here. Now we've got a huge amount of guns. Now these guns should have pretty much do the job by themselves, but we shall not become complacent. And again, you've got this sort of small outcrop here, as you can see here. This really is going to cause a problem here, because it doesn't allow you to really solidify your defensive line in one coherent whole. But let's just get things organised here. Let's put the gentleman here. Now let's get our guns ready here. Have the guns here centred here, as you can see, and it is bitterly cold, my friends. Absolutely bitterly cold. Now let's get the howitzers set up first. We've got 3 regiments of howitzers, and they're going to do a tremendous amount of damage. I kid you not, my friends, it really is. Let's... Oh, where's the demarc? There's their... Look at that. It's well within their deployment zone, but their deployment zone runs slightly further than ours, I believe, or is it the same? No, it is actually the same here, but I think it could be... Yes, it is shorter on the right flank. So the chances are they're probably going to be on this side of this small hamlet here. So we've got a good coverage here in terms of our howitzers. And we've got 3 24-pounder foot artillery here, which can and will cover. So we'll just put these gentlemen here as well. Let's unlimber them. Perfect. Now shrapnel shot is we've got a very short range. As you can see, it only covered this corner of the deployment zones. For this time we will go round shot, because that will extend all the way there. There is the range of the round shot. Once they get sort of to here, this will be the kill zone for shrapnel shot here. Now, so we've got our main artillery battery ready here. I think what we will do is we'll put the 84th Regiment here, right to the vanguard here of the defence. We will be sending the cavalry out to do hit some of the German flanks, and we'll put this regiment here as well on the right. We'll have this regiment here on the left. Let's get ourselves deployed properly here, gentlemen. Go. Now, these might be a little bit too close. I do like to keep a little bit of separation between the regiments, just in case they do have cannon, which I don't believe they have at this time. Let's put our cavalry over here just for the moment. Let's bring this regiment here. Now we can't. There it is. Because this particular ridge here, as you can see, is deeply cut into the side. So all of this here is sort of almost like the cliff edge here. And then you've got these small, shallower, steep edges here, but you couldn't deploy here either, because as you can see, these dark areas here, this means it's quite a deep drop, but these are shallower drops here. So we're going to have to put this regiment at the base here of this. As you can see, we can do that, that's fine. We've got a gap here which we must be aware of here. Now let's put another regiment, I think, on the right flank here. We've got the trees out here we can use as well. But again, we've got to mould and shape our defences around the topography here of the battlefield. Now, what else have we got here? We've got plenty of cavalry, my goodness me. Put these 2 regiments over here for the time being. I think we'll just use all of our infantry out on the battlefield here. We won't keep any reserves, because we don't really have enough for that. We'll put 1 more regiment here. We should be able to overwhelm these quite quickly, especially with the cavalry. They're doing their work on the flanks. That's more like it. Now, let's put these gentlemen here, ready to move on this flank. General is set fair. We've also got 3 more regiments here on this flank. Perfect. Absolutely perfect here. I think, wait a minute, out of line here, gentlemen. Thank you. Now, let's begin, my friends. Let's begin this battle. It's going to be an absolute brutish battle. Let's do this. Let's rid ourselves of these fiends here. Now, we can. The gendarmerie here. Actually, let's switch to shrapnel shot, because they were closer than I thought they'd be. That is an absolute wonder. Looks like they might head this way for us here. So what we'll do is we'll just take 2 of these regiments here and close this off. Another one here, just to be able to... The chance they might try and strike us here. I think we might hit them here with everything we've got. What have they got here? Another bodyguard, general bodyguard. I think I'm going to hit them here. We will let them settle. Come on, gentlemen, let's go now. Got to take out this 3-pounder because it can still do a lot of damage. Here they come. Look at them. Looks like they're going to meet us here. Huzzahs! Look at that. Square, gentlemen. That's a beautiful shot. We've got them, look at that. They've gone. They're shattered. They don't like it, so they don't like it. Come on, gentlemen, get out of there. Let's try to hit them here now. Let's hit them here. Let the artillery deal with this here. Oh, it's a beautiful shot. They've gone. They've gone. They've had enough. Look at that. That's a wonder. And they shattered. Yeah, these... Don't you break, sir. Don't you break. Let's deal with this. Let's get right in behind them here. Don't you break. What the blazes? Don't you break, gentlemen, don't you break. General's gone. Let's deal with this Jaeger. If they want to fight, then we'll oblige. Look at that, it's been, the cavalry's done an absolute exceptional job here, it really has. Taken the fight to them beautifully here. Right, let's get rid of these Jaeger here. Against the cavalry, they shouldn't be too much of a problem. Mind you, we're taking some quite heavy casualties in terms of the cavalry regiments, but keep these under constant fire. They're gone. They don't like it. I told you the Jaeger can't stand against the cavalry, they just can't. What a wonderful sight this is. Let's just now cut off their escape route. Let's just ceasefire here. Now let's hit them. Don't just stand there like lemons, sir. Move! Now it's time to deal with this once and for all. Got them. Let's get them, lads. None of these will be a problem for us. Yes, no, we'll just continue. Just get rid of this regiment here. They're shattered, but we want to get rid of as many as we can here. Look at that. The cavalry's done all the hard work here. And so is the cannon. The fire support, look at that. The fire support did all of this here. It's a wonder. Come on, don't give them any leeway here, gentlemen. Please. Thank you. Let's show them there is no escape now. The last throws of the German dice are being seen here. It may have once been a great empire, but no longer. The United States is here now, and Europe shall be its domain. Now we've dealt with these gentlemen, now we can probably, hopefully, set ourselves ready now for the fight elsewhere. I think that, my friends, will do it now. Yeah, this army is all, for all intents and purposes, gone. Close victory, it wasn't even anywhere near that, sir. Look at that, 377 lost, they lost the whole lot, my goodness me. Cuirassiers, 24 pounders, not bad at all.
Forward!
Yes, that's more like it. Well done, sir. Well done. Now we're going to replenish this army here. Thankfully we didn't have to drag in any others either, which is excellent. But we can hope now that we can also deal with... Let's bring them up to full strength, which they definitely deserve. We can also replenish this here as well. 162,000 in gold. As you can see, the strain. Look at the tax income. The tax covers the army upkeep, which is 485,000 gold per year. Then we've got the trade income is 459,000. So our navy upkeep isn't too bad, but it's still not enough to cover the navy upkeep here. Thankfully, we get 12,000 from other, which is basically negotiation of protectorates and also some, shall we say, less legal aspects we can get it from as well. But we've got 65,000 roughly coming in here. God, it's Eastern Trade. Look how many people we're at war with. Pretty much everybody on the planet. So, as you can see here, we've got this army here to deal with. This army here to deal with here. Let's have a look at it. Not a bad army at all, especially with the grenadiers involved here, but they don't have the cavalry, but they've got plenty of cannon. Then we've got this army here, just outside Tannenberg. Again, with Swiss line infantry, going to be pretty tough. And we've also got pikemen, which is a real menace. What else? We have this army here, which is loitering with intent. That's a pretty strong force there. But the biggest concentration of German troops is left is here, in around Minsk. Let's just quickly look at what they've got here. Not great in terms of its... This here is a decent army here because it's got the Swiss Grenadiers in here, but in terms of its overall look, it's not that powerful. Now what do we have here? Some conscripts. This army will be, but this will be the most difficult here, is outside Minsk. We've got to deal with those gentlemen as well. And also, as you can see, we bought Moldova under siege with an army group here, and the fighting around here has been really sort of very sort of scrappy fighting here. Now I like to move this army around here if need be, and move an additional force. I think we're trying to move an additional force into the area here because they're not needed here at all. What have we got here? This army here needs to be replenished, which it is. This army here, we need to get additional reinforcements into this region.
Yes, sir. At the ready.
We might take some of the forces from here and feed them into this army. What else?
Sir.
They're at full strength, but
Yes.
my goodness me, the fighting in and around here has been extraordinary.
Waiting order.
We also have all of these German forces to take care of as well. That's going to be very hard. And there's a full army here as well in Craiova. That's a strong army there. That's a strong army indeed, especially with the Swiss line infantry and the Swiss grenadiers. Can you bring these up to full strength here at least?
Waiting order. Make ready.
Now the council has also been asking for us to perhaps hit Italy as well and deal with the Spanish here as well, stopping the Spanish move here. Now as you can see, we've got here the sort of the outer positions of a very shallow at the moment encirclement. Now it hasn't really developed that well because we've still got to clear the Netherlands of any particular of these forces here. Now as you can see, they're not happy here at all. Good, minus 34. That's extraordinary. But look at the income, 11,000. I think here we can probably bring all these up to full strength because we're not going to be going anywhere, so they're going to have to deal with this. What will this bring? This will be +5, so that should help there as well. This will also bring +5 to repression. We can also start recruiting from here as well, which is excellent. But we've got this, so the outline here, as you can see, this sort of claw, this sort of forming, is just that very start of a pincer. Now, to form this pincer properly, what we'd have to do is move this army group into Amsterdam further, and then use these to sort of push on against Brussels. Now, if we were to capture Brussels, and if this army group down here was then to move in sort of around in heading for Nancy here, then that would be almost a pincer move, an encirclement. It would trap all of these forces in Brussels and Rhineland and also Lorraine here, Alsace-Lorraine. So that would be a pretty Strasbourg here. So we would pretty much seal off all of these forces. Now the problem is they're beginning to feed in forces from Italy here, and they would be continually trying to break this barrier we would have along here. So we'd have to reinforce it substantially. Now as you can see here, we don't have that. Now many of the council are also calling for us to move the forces that were defending. I mean, what a fight that was here in Munich. Now many of the council saying you've got to pull these forces right back off from the front lines because they've earned that rest here. And also look at the battle here. The recuperation must be, we might send them advice here for some rest and recuperation. I think that's what we'll do here. And then also from here we can also add some additional forces here, but we'll let them just recuperate there. A new army's being put here. We need new armies. Now this army here is definitely going to be sent into Amsterdam here. We're going to really solidify our hold on the city here, and sort of, I said, build out a really strong bridgehead. We've got a bridgehead here. Now if we went through this way here, if we went from Amsterdam, Cologne, Stuttgart, if we tried to seal off a line across here, it would trap a huge portion of this Spanish army, but it would also leave this to attack the line we'd set up here. What you need to do is almost do a super cannae. And the super cannae is where you would just surround a massive amount of enemy forces, but to do that you need the forces not only to fight the battles that push the enemy where you want them to, but also to hold the line so the enemy can't escape through it. And we don't have that at the moment. Now we've got two army groups here and additional forces moving in here, but we're weak down here in the south. So, and even then we have the operation to clear some of these other forces away. This army's being brought up to full strength. This army definitely needs to be brought up to full strength here if we're going to do anything with it at all. Now, to that end, I think we'll pull these forces.
Ready for order.
Yeah, they're being moved already into Strasbourg, so we'll put them into the Fort New Bris. This fort here, I won't even try to pronounce that, my friends, because I will do it injustice. We'll also move this force here into here. Again, we're just going to continue to pour forces into the bridgeheads, because what we want to do is, once we've got enough, try and surround these forces here, lock them into these territories so they can't escape. Also, forces can't get in to help them. Then, of course, we've got a huge amount of Spanish forces in Portugal, Madrid, Gibraltar, and Morocco to deal with. And further eastwards, we've got the Barbary states, but they're not looking to fight us at all. They know they can't engage. And actually, they're starting to lose troops, which means they must be suffering further down the line here. Now, let's get this repaired here. Now, it costs 10,000, but that's worth it. Now, Greece aren't going to do anything at all with us, but we also want to bring this fighting to an end here so we can replenish and recuperate these forces as we are doing now at the moment. Look at the fighting along here. It's been extraordinary. And then hopefully we can then bring these back, deal with the Germans, and then finally attack Istanbul. My goodness me, the fighting has been extraordinary. And also further here into the New World, we're at war with the Mughal Empire, who are just untouched. They haven't been fighting anybody at all. They are completely untouched. Their wealth is extraordinary. Look at that, they've got 16,000 coming in just from here, and Great Britain as well. That's our trade line here. Now, they haven't moved against us at all here. I think they're using the Afghans as a proxy. But, as you can see, the Afghans are suffering here. Look, every single flag here is a tattered flag, which means they're losing men from attrition. Now, this force here might not look much, but the Marine Corps is here. The Marine Corps is here, my friends, and we've got the 2nd New York in here as well, who are one of the originals. So as you can imagine, this is an exceptional force, as you can see here by the. Now, they were destroyed once. Now, we were fighting in Russia, and they got trapped, and they took on about 5 armies. They destroyed 3 of them, but unfortunately got overwhelmed, and we had to reconstitute them again and bring them back up to full strength. But my goodness me, what a force that is. I think this force here is probably enough to deal with these down in here in Bandar Abbas, which is our port here. Now, some of the council officers are being asked us to raid and hit the Afghan port, but that's our port there, I think, my friends. I think I don't think the Afghans have got a port at all, which is excellent, because we control Persia, we control that port, but it would give us access to hitting Kolachi here, which is the Mughal Empire. It would give us access to all of their ports along here, which is bringing them a huge amount of money. My goodness me, it really is. And it all feeds into this here. 16,000, they're untouched, totally untouched. Italian states are getting quite a lot of money from there as well, but thankfully we've got Ceylon as a staging area, with an army group sat here as well, and a full fleet. But they are untouched, but their internal economy must be vast, because as you can see, all of these have been fully upgraded. They're at full strength. They've been untouched for decades. And I'd imagine they're at full strength. They've got to be, yeah, they are at full strength. I mean, look at these armies here. Look at that. The 64-pounders as well, and the Sepoys, which are an absolute brute to fight against. But I think what we will do is we'll move these forces down to here. We won't do it just yet. We'll end the turn, I think. Now we've got a few forces here. We've got the British here, but we're not going to deal with the British just yet. That'll be the last, because these have been our greatest ally, the British. They've been with us the entire time we've been fighting. The British have been allies with us, but they haven't helped at all. Not a single jot have they helped us, but they don't have to. That's not their business. So let's get some more infantry here. Boston has been a wonderful location for us. So here, yeah. And let's also recruit from here as well. What have we got here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we need some more line infantry and also some more 24-pounders foot as well, don't we? Yes, we do indeed, sir. And, oh, we can't. Oh, we can't. We can only get 3 here for some reason. It's very odd why we can't do that. Probably because of the... Yeah, I think probably because recruitment capacity units is 3. Recruitment capacity units is 4. I wonder why that stops us. What stops us from getting additional... and being able to recruit additional troops here? I don't understand that. It's always been a little bit odd. Got 23,000 coming in here. Once you connect here as well, 25,000. What's the ultimate here? 27,000 here. You've got huge amounts coming in. Huge amounts. So I think that's it. I think we'll end the turn here, my friends, just so we can get an update on what's happening here. Sending these forces in here. I wonder what the Spanish response will be. Let's end the turn here, my friends. Let's see what happens. It all depends on what Spain's response is as we feed those reinforcements in, and also we've got they're attacking here as well, as you can see. That's going to be a brutal fight. Barbary States, here we go, there we are. And we just repaired it as well, brilliant. But doesn't matter, what we shall do is we shall... Oh, they can, no, they're not going to move now, they don't have the bottle for it. Oh, look at that, we can upgrade that town there and miss that town there on the coast of Egypt. Is that Sharm el-Sheikh? Could be. And Germans just moving away from Moldova. Doesn't look like they can help to defend Moldova at all. Looks like they're going to give Moldova up. Oh, that's sneaky. They're going to try and go through the Carpathian Mountains. That cannot be allowed to happen there. And they're pulling back. They're pulling out. Yep. Looks like yeah, there's going to be an assault. Yeah, that's definitely not going to happen. I think we'll just decline that attack there. The Germans are really sort of manoeuvring quite a bit here now. This is why we have to destroy these armies that are loitering behind the lines. Ah, there it is. Now we might take this fight. Or not. No, I don't think we will, because this army is not in strength, not in good strength. But this one is. This one is in decent. No, it's not. But we do have some good reserves here. My good, look at that. 11th. They're throwing the lot in. They're throwing every single... Now, I wonder if we decline that and draw an even more in. No, we're not. 5,000, I wonder. This is it. That's the battle we wanted. No, it's not. Down to 18 men here. My goodness me, we really are struggling here to bring in... Oh, look at that force. Why aren't we bringing these in here? Because they can outgun us massively here. And these men will not hold for long. We'd have to immediately send these gentlemen back behind our lines and draw new reinforcements. We would not be able to hold with these regiments here. They'd immediately be retreated, so we can get the additional new reinforcements in. But you know what? I think we might take this fight. I think we've got a good chance here. But it would be between these two armies here would do it. This army, up to a point, would be able to help, but we'd have to really pick this apart. But let me know what you think, my friends. Do we take this fight here now in Bulgaria and destroy the vast majority of these German forces? If we do this, we've effectively broken the Germans here in the Balkans. They've got these forces here which are loitering, but we can always pull this army back and cut off the... And we've also got this army here which might move to intercept those moving the Carpathian Mountains. But I'll leave this decision to you, my friends. Do we take this fight? Here are the armies we've got. We can, of course, move the armies around. So this army here would be the reserve army that would come in behind its full strength. This army is okay here, but we've got 4 regiments completely depleted. Everything else seems to be at full strength. We've got 225 cavalry here. That's exceptional. We've got plenty of fire support as well. And we'd have another army here that would do a lot of damage because it's very experienced and it would be able to bring in. But this army here wouldn't be no good to us at all. This really has been taking a beating. So we probably put these gentlemen here and bring this army in here. Probably bring in the Marine, the Grenadier Guards, I beg your pardon, and some other ones that are not too bad. But everything else, it would be these two armies that would be doing they'll be doing the majority of the work here, but I'm going to leave that up to you, my friends, what we do there. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. As always, thank you for your wonderful comments, your advice, your very kind words as well, my friends. The support has been absolutely fantastic, it really has. As always, my friends, whatever you're doing, please be safe. Thank you, and your advice is going to be definitely needed now. Do we take this fight, or do we leave it and just let the Germans sort of sort themselves out here and we can attack in our own time? Or do we take the opportunity to attack them and perhaps damage the last great bastion, at least in the south here, of German forces once and for all? Whatever you do, my friends, as always, please be safe. But until next time, bye for now.